It's only week 1, so I'm trying not to overreact, right? But like, it's really hard not to overreact given what we saw yesterday in what was not even really a 27-13 win. It was more a 27-6 win.
Let's play a game here.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to make some statements.
Okay.
And you're going to say if it's an overreaction or not.
I really like that idea.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
We're going off top of the head here.
All right, make some statements.
The Green Bay Packers are the overwhelming favorite in the NFC North.
Ooh. Overwhelming is the word I'm hung up on. I think they're definitely the favorite without a doubt, yes.
The Eagles need to worry about the Packers in the NFC.
Not an overreaction.
The Green Bay Packers have the best defense in the NFL.
They very well might.
The Green Bay Packers are going to make an NFC Championship game.
Yes.
The Green Bay Packers have a defense good enough to win a Super Bowl.
100%.
The Green Bay Packers are going to finish in the top 5 in both offense and defense.
That's probably the hardest one you've thrown at me. Defense, I think, is a lock. The offense is the part I'm hung up on.
Micah Parsons is even better than advertised.
Yes, 100%.
Don't
That's
overreact
actually how
too
I
much
wanted to
to
start
week
the show
one.
today. No, but I don't even think that's an overreaction because I think for Hunter, who's a Cowboys fan, we'll hear from him in a bit on Micah Parsons and the impact that he made for the Packers yesterday. But he was felt instantly.
Yes.
Even when he wasn't on the field, he was felt. And that's the weird part right there is like, you don't get that type of talent on defense. I'm trying to remember the last time the Packers had a player like that.
It was Reggie White.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't even think Clay Matthews does it justice. And Clay was really good for a couple of years.
Clay was great. This is different.
This is different. And
I described it on Jen Game and Chewy this morning as he's a gravitational force.
I really like that word, but because it felt like that's what you were witnessing when the Packers defense was on the field yesterday against Detroit. And again, I think Detroit's a really good team. I think the coordinator changes are going to affect them, and I think that kind of came into play yesterday. Their offensive line, without a doubt, did downgrade this offseason. They had a couple of retirements. I think they had 3 new starters in the interior of their line. So there was some changes to the Lions' offensive line. But I don't think it's an overreaction to say that Micah Parsons was better than advertised. I just don't. I think he was that important in only 29 snaps yesterday in a game that the Lions offense seriously couldn't do anything until the end of the game. They couldn't do anything.
They were pathetic.
They were as bad as I've seen them in the Dan Campbell era.
And I don't think it was really all that much to do with lack of execution on the Lions' part. I don't think Jared Goff played particularly bad. I think it's very obvious when Jared Goff is under pressure.
Yeah.
He's a massive downgrade to Jared Goff with time to throw the ball and evaluate a defense. But I mean, the Packers didn't do much exotic yesterday.
No.
It was, Jeff Hafley is always going to be exotic with his what coverages he shows and what they end up in, but it's all very basic stuff. It's not some Konami code of like this very complicated defense. It's just good execution, knowing where you're supposed to be in a rather disciplined secondary. I mean, the Jahmyr Gibbs stats about the most catches for the least yards ever, they were just smothered. Every decision they made seemed like it was just ineffectual. And
to call Micah Parsons a gravitational force or a gravitational pull, whatever you call them, regardless, it was so visible.
Yes.
Colby Wooden had a career day.
Yes.
Lucas Van Ness looked like a first-round pick.
Sure did.
Rashawn Gary looked really good.
Yep.
Edgerrin Cooper looks like an all-pro.
Yeah, the Colby Wooden play in specific, where he made that tackle almost a safety, they sent 3 guys to Micah Parsons, leaving Colby Wooden unblocked.
Completely unblocked.
The third guy peeled off to get to the second level. There was multiple times also, and you're going to see more and more of this, where the Packers are going to, and Jeff Hafley are going to force offensive lines to make decisions where they're just going to overload the line the opposite direction of Micah Parsons and beg them to slide the other way.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do. And we saw it in week 1. A guy who was clearly gassed by the end of the game. I don't know why they kept him in there that long, but that's neither here nor there at this moment. It changed everything about the defense. His presence changed how they wanted to attack, and it changed. I think there's a reasonable argument to be made around, like, they're sort of on the high. Micah Parsons gets announced last. The crowd goes absolutely bonkers. And there is probably an elevation of every player because of that. But to think that those guys aren't going to continue to benefit in the same way, I think would be short-sighted.
Yeah, a sack and 3 quarterback pressures for Micah Parsons and 29 snaps in his Packers debut on Sunday. And it was so evident the impact he made to this defense, who, and we said this prior to the game, but I just want to remind folks, the Packers had a good defense prior to Micah Parsons.
Yep.
It was a good defense. They had a really good year last year in year 1 under Jeff Hafley. Jeff Hafley is a guy who is very much going to get coaching interviews. He did it last season, in fact, had coaching interviews. He's going to get more after this year. And he will likely be a head coach at some point in the National Football League. Well, if all things go really well for the Packers this year, it could very well be next year. So that all being said, Micah Parsons is such an impact player added to an already good defense, and that, voila, is what you got on Sunday against the Detroit Lions.